Okay, there's stuff I haven't told anybody because it's kind of like... And then I ended up actually quitting my freshman year.
Wow.
I can't imagine, like, letting go of softball. And so I just started crying and I was like, I need to do something about it.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to Baselines. My name is Liberty Schultz. Baselines is a show all about leading you guys to your ultimate goal of scoring, whether that's getting recruited, going to your dream school, or preventing burnout. Just like Baselines in softball, they lead you to your ultimate goal of scoring. So today we have a really awesome guest. Her name is Olivia Lacy. You might know her from the YouTube softball world. She went to JUCO, and now she plays at Lagrange College. And she also has 6 dogs. Let's hear it from the live studio audience and welcome Olivia Lacy. Woo woo! So I kind of wanted just to talk to you about your softball journey and how you've gotten to where you've been today. Talk about the YouTube process. Talk about everything that's gone into your softball journey, and just kind of go through it with you, the timeline of it. And I think people also would want to hear this and would want to kind of see you in like a more long frame interview, because there are like short softball videos, but you don't really get to know a person. I think people will like to see that, and it'll be kind of cool. So we'll just jump on in and with some easy beginning softball questions.
Okay.
So when did you first start playing?
I started playing when I was 12, I think, because my little cousin was like, oh, I'm going to play softball. And my dad was like, well, you have to play now. And I really didn't want to, because I was like, I'm not a boy. I don't want to play. And I did. No,
You started
I looked back.
That's awesome. So you started at 12, so that's a little later than most people. So did you start playing like on a rec team, or how did you first start getting into it?
Yeah, I started playing at well, no one's gonna know what it is, but it's like a little rec team, literally tiny, like 2 teams out of the whole thing.
Like in your hometown?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I think I started travel when I was 14.
14. Wow.
Yeah.
So you went straight from rec into travel after like a year.
I think like 14 or 13, because I remember I used to play down because I was like kind of new to it still. So.
Did you play middle school ball like when you were?
No, we didn't have a middle school team.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, so you were just playing rec and then jumped into travel.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's crazy, because we had a middle school team, and I remember like it was not competitive at all. So that's kind of fun though. So you started playing rec and then you went to travel. What travel team did you get on after?
My first travel team. Dang, I cannot remember the name. I think it was Fear. Georgia Fear, something like that.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it. Where was that out of?
Jackson County,
Okay.
I think. We were
That's
pretty
cool.
trash, but...
Hey, you're
jerseys
where
were
you're at.
cute.
Yeah. Dude, you know like the cute jerseys, how like they'll like have like the thing down the side and they're like pink, or they'll have like the neon, they like try to make them like overly cute.
Yeah.
You're like, what is going on? What is
And we
this?
had little nicknames on the back, too.
Ooh, what was yours?
I think mine was Mouse.
Mouse.
Because I'm like 4 foot tall.
Oh, okay.
My dad always called me that, so.
Yeah, I think you're the first person who's like shorter than me.
Yeah.
That like never. How tall are you?
4'11".
Oh my god.
I know.
You're under 5 foot.
Okay, I'll tell you a secret, but
Do you want me to cut it?
yes,
Okay.
I'm 4'9".
You're 4.
And 3/4.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You could put it in there.
All
if
right.
you want, but
I remember when I was like 10 or 12, and I was short, you know. So for any short girls out there, you can still do it. But I mean, did you ever like face any challenges being short? Did people? I remember I would catch, and people would be like, "Why is she out there? She's a little tiny little twig." Did you ever experience any of that?
honestly, no, because I've always played second base.
Oh,
so it's always like the short person kind of goes generically, but
yeah.
not really. I mean, people always comment on it, but it's never been like, oh my god, you can't play because you're short.
Yeah. I feel like softball's a sport where you can get by with being short, you know? Like, you might not be the home run hitter, but...
Yeah, I remember it boosted my confidence, because there was this, I swear she was like 5'1", maybe. She was really short. Well, I'm really short, but like, she was short, like me.
Yeah.
And she played at UGA. You know the really short blonde pitcher? She wore a face mask.
I don't know.
But she was 5. And I remember seeing her, and I was like, oh my god, I have a chance.
Yes! You can make it! You can make it! That's cool, though. I mean, so, like, when you were a kid, and obviously you looked up to the short pitcher at UGA, did you have any other players that you looked up to?
I feel like the most basic answer, but Jenny Finch.
Jenny Finch, yeah. How could you not?
I know, she's freaking amazing.
She is. And it's really cool how she's, like, kind of capitalized on playing softball too. She has
Mm-hmm.
pants and sliding
Literally.
shorts and everything, you know?
That's crazy. And Kat Osterman too.
Kat Osterman, yeah, she's awesome.
insane.
Those are like the big names and like everybody knows them.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
But after them, it was Alex Hugo from Georgia.
Oh, dude,
Mm-hmm.
I just filmed a skills video with one of her players and she was there. And like, I didn't know she was a big deal. I was filming this video and they're like talking to her and she's like, well, I did some interviews today. And I was like, oh, what interviews? I had no idea who she was. She's like, oh, for like ESPN or something.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
she's crazy.
I'm like, dude, like, I didn't know this was a big deal.
Mm-hmm. I got a lesson from her one time because she's like, I think she lives close to Winder.
She does, yeah.
And I got a lesson from her and the whole time I was like,
Oh my god.
she helped me a lot though. So,
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah.
She's so dynamic too. Like she was catching, she was throwing, she was hitting. She plays professional baseball now.
She plays baseball?
Professional baseball, like
Okay,
women's baseball, and they'll like play high school travel teams to like get better.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
wild.
wow.
And she's like really good hitting balls.
I don't doubt it. She's insane.
Yeah, she's awesome. So back to you. So you started playing when you're 12, travel ball when you're 14. When did you have that moment where you were like, man, I want to play in college? Or was it just kind of like a gradual process and you're like, well, here I am? What was it?
Honestly, like when we started going to the UGA softball games, I was like, yeah, I want to do that one day. I didn't know like I actually would, but that was my biggest goal, just to get into college. Whether it was JUCO, D3, whatever. Yeah. I would just want to play.
Just wanted to keep playing. And that's cool though. So like, you were sitting there watching the UGA games, 12 years old, and being like, man, that's something that I hope I can do one day.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. That's awesome. That's really cool. And so watching UGA softball, that's crazy because our last person was a UGA softball player, and it's everything circles around UGA. It's crazy. So after you started playing travel ball when you're 14, where did you go after that? Did you start high school ball, or what was going on?
High school was a little interesting. So I tried out freshman year and I made it. And then we had 2 different leagues. So it was summer league and then it was regular season.
So like regular season was in the fall? Okay.
But you had to try out for both. And so I tried out for summer, I did it, and I made it, and I balled out, and then got cut for the regular season.
No!
Yeah.
Dude, what? Like,
so I didn't play my freshman year.
Because, so what do you think it was about?
I really couldn't tell you. I have no idea. Because I think I did good, like, at that age, and what I was doing, I think I did good, but...
So did you come back and make it sophomore year? So did that kind of period where you weren't playing, did that kind of like light a fire in you to keep going and working harder?
Surprisingly, like I was so sad, like bawling my eyes out, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna get back up and make the team. Yeah,
and then you did. That's cool. That's awesome. It's like who's the basketball player that like? Is it Michael Jordan? That didn't make his middle school team?
I think it was.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was.
You're Michael Jordan's story.
I hope we're not completely wrong.
We might be.
We'll see.
I'll look it up, and if it's wrong, I'll put like the fact up.
Okay. It's
actually. So after not making the team, you came back sophomore year and made it. Did you continue playing the rest of high school? Okay. So you played all 3 years in high school.
Yeah.
Okay. And then were you playing travel ball at the same time?
I was playing for the Classics.
The Classics. Oh yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah. That's cool. That's awesome. I remember you making a video about like not making the team and then like coming back about it. So that was cool to kind of follow along with that journey.
Yeah, it was about that one. And then also I didn't make varsity till my senior year.
Wow.
I know.
That's crazy, like
ridiculous.
not making varsity and then going to play at a college level, you know? That's wild that you were able to still do that.
It's crazy. Because only like from our high school, I think like 3 girls went on to play.
Wow.
Out of the entire team.
Wow.
That's cool.
So as senior year hits, what are you thinking about college? What are you doing? Do you know what you're doing yet?
I had no idea. Because I really didn't have any guidance on that. Because my dad, he doesn't know anything about it. And he was the only person that I was like looking to for help. But... Oh yeah, I talked to my high school coach.
Okay.
And she emailed a few colleges for me. And I just put West Georgia Tech on there just because, like, I knew someone who went there for baseball. And I was like, might as well. I've never even looked at the school, but...
Might as well try for it.
Yeah, she ended up emailing back, and then I went to a little workout with them.
So you, like... So West Georgia Tech, they emailed you back, and did they invite you out? Okay. And then you started working out with them. It was like a tryout?
Yeah, it was kind of like a practice. So the whole team was there, and we all just like basically practiced together.
Okay.
And I think there were like 2 or 3 other girls trying out, I guess. And then I emailed her after, and I was like, "Thank you for the opportunity, blah blah, whatever." And then I think she took like 2 weeks to get back to me, and then she offered after that.
Wow, 2 weeks. That's quick.
Yeah, it felt like forever though.
Yeah.
I was like, she doesn't want me.
What time was this in your senior year?
Literally the very end.
Like May? April?
I'm trying to think. It was definitely April, May area.
So you can be late and still get recruited.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially with JUCO.
Yeah. So JUCOs, they kind of pick up the girls that are not left behind. They kind of just come through and get those good players at the end. Yeah, that's crazy because I remember, like, I've had tons of friends who weren't getting recruited. It was May, June, we were playing travel ball, and you're like, man, what's happening? And then the JUCOs come along and scoop you up, and you have somewhere to go, and kind of you're assured that you have a place to go at that point. So that's cool that they do that, and you know, because so many people do get freaked out, you know, that they don't have a place to go, and May hits, and they're like, oh gosh, what do I do? They
kind of look for the girls who are left behind, but also who still have talent that they can like develop. So they're not looking for like your D1 player, you know what I'm saying? They'll look for like people that you can build on and make them better throughout the 2 years that they're there.
So do you think with JUCO, like the players that come in, I feel like this might be a complete misunderstanding, is what people, they're not quite ready, and it's kind of like a pre-first. Is that true, or you think they're just top-notch athletes? Or
I think it depends on the sport, honestly, because I know football JUCO, they're freaking fine.
Like Last Chance U, that shit was awesome.
Literally so amazing, but with softball, I feel like most of us there, we kind of just weren't ready to let go. And even then, like, most of the girls I was on the team with last year, I think 2 or 3 of us went on to play out of the whole team. So I think it was just people not being ready to say bye yet, and they wanted those last 2 years.
That's so true. Because after high school, it does seem just a little too short. And you're like, man, I want to play this a little bit longer.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I did with I went and played 2 years of college ball, and like, then I was like ready to say goodbye. And it's just kind of, you need that little extra padding of time.
Yeah.
So you went to JUCO, and what happened at JUCO? Because I know now you're at a completely different school. So what was the first year like? How did you end up where you are now?
Well, okay, there's stuff I haven't told anybody because it's kind of like, I don't know how people are gonna feel about it. But
so you don't. Let me know.
No, you can put it in.
Okay.
But my freshman year, it was fine. And I was getting playing time, kind of. I earned a starting spot for second base, and then I was just getting really nervous, and I started like messing up a lot. And
I know that.
It was tough because I was so mad at myself. I was like, I know I can do it, but it just wasn't translating to games. And so I got that spot taken away from me, and I tried talking to the coach, blah blah blah, whatever. And then I ended up actually quitting my freshman year.
Wow.
I think we had like a month left, and I quit. And that I definitely regret that decision. Like, it was really stupid of me and impulsive, but I did that. And then
when you decided to quit, was that just like a really difficult decision? Was that hard, or was it more?
I mean, I think at the time I just wasn't in the right mindset to even make that decision, but I did anyway.
After your freshman year, you decided to quit. What happened after that? Like, how did you end up with Lagrange?
Well, my parents, I told them that I quit, and they kept asking me, like, what is your plan? Like, what are you doing? Because we knew about the athletics program being cut, and I knew I had to leave West Tech after my freshman year. And so I was like, I kept putting it off because I was like, I'm not ready to say bye, but I also don't know where I would go or what I would do. And so finally, they convinced me to, like, start emailing coaches. And I have a friend, I don't know if you know her, Carly Whitaker.
Oh, I've heard that last name.
She played for the Glory.
I probably know her.
Yeah, you'll
met
probably
her
know
at
her.
some point.
But she went to Lagrange to play softball, and I Snapchatted her and I was like, "Do you like it there?" Blah blah blah. And then I decided to email their coach, and she actually got right back to me.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really weird though because I don't know. I think at D3 the rule is that you can have however many players you want.
Yeah, their teams are usually pretty large.
Like our baseball team's 60 guys.
Whoa.
I'm like, for what?
Yeah. What are you doing?
Like, but they actually cut guys. They start out with like 90 and then they cut.
Wow.
Yeah.
And still end up with 60 guys.
Yes. But I didn't have to try out or do anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
They just... Did you have a video or anything? Or they just knew your past
She
stats?
didn't even ask for my video.
Really?
She was just like, okay, come on a visit. And then after the visit, she was like, so, are you going to commit? And I was like, I guess so.
Like, yeah, here I am. What was that like them never seeing you play? Was that hard? Did you, like, have confidence in yourself even though they...
It was a lot of pressure because I was like, what if I'm not as good as they think I am? Or, like, if I'm not, I don't live up to their standards kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there were also a lot of girls on the softball team. I think they were, like, 30-ish, a little over 30.
Oh, wow.
But, because we have a JV and a varsity for that team. I got through it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And you're happier now? You're happier looking into your second year there? Looking up?
Yeah, 100%. I was going to transfer after fall semester, but I was like, no, I'll regret it literally for the rest of my life. So I stayed, and I think it'll be better. Yeah. Next year.
That's kind of exciting, like having something to look forward to. I remember after my freshman year, I was like, man, I don't think I want to go back. Like, I was really thinking about transferring and just being done and calling it quits. And then sophomore year was just so much better. So much better. After you've done it once, you know what's happening, and it just gets a lot better.
Yeah.
So I totally understand that. So I hope it does get better next year.
We'll see. I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, please do. All right, so now I want to talk YouTube. You know, the fun thing that we both have in common besides softball is that we both make YouTube videos, and we made a video together in the past. What was it? Softball?
There's types of players.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
I remember throwing the bat into the fence and all that crazy stuff. So when did you start making YouTube videos?
I think like 3 years ago when I was in high school. But you know Dub Smash?
Oh, yes. What is that? The thing where you like lip sing to stuff?
Yeah, it was like little dances, kind of like Musically and TikTok, but like smaller.
Yeah.
I used to make those all the time. I literally, hopefully you don't find this, but I have a separate Twitter where I used to
do some digging.
They're really old. I used to make all these Dub Smashes and like Musicallys and post them on there, and yeah, it kind of started from there. I was just like, might as well just start making videos.
Yeah. So when you started making the videos, did you mainly make softball videos? I know you have a couple other ones. Did you like originally set out to make just softball videos, or was that just kind of your life? Or
no, it just at first I was doing like little vlogs and like montages and stuff like that.
But like summer vacation
and
stuff.
That's exactly what I did.
That's how I started too.
But then I was like, you know, I made one softball video. I think it was like a day in the life or something like that, and people really liked it, and I was like, I could combine those two things I love and just make them one thing. Yeah,
that's so true. And like, you made the day in the life and people liked it. So when you kept making more softball content, did people just like keep coming back and they were really enjoying it and sticking with it?
Yeah, I think it's mainly because there's not really many softball YouTubers at all.
There's really not.
Like, even athletes in general, I feel like don't really do like day in the life type of thing.
Probably because they're so busy.
I mean, yeah, but
they don't have time to edit, but still. Yeah, I feel like the only softball YouTubers, I feel like I'm not one as much anymore because I don't really make just softball videos. It's like you and me, and we're in the same state, which is crazy. And then there's like Julia Jordan. Have you ever heard of her?
She's literally like the only other one.
Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it, yeah. I'm sure there's like some really tiny ones who like post like once a year. But hey,
post once a year.
And people love it though. When you do post, it's like so many views. It's like, whoa. That's awesome though. I mean, it's cool. And was it ever hard for you to make videos like when you were playing? To balance all that?
Oh, not really, because I usually I have a lot of free time anyway. And I watch Netflix and YouTube, so I was like, might as well do something fun and productive.
Yeah.
It just worked out.
Yeah, that's cool though. And so I remember seeing in some of your videos, like you slapping a whole bunch and stuff. So you're a slapper, right? Do you still slap today?
I do.
Okay.
I started as a righty my whole life, and then senior year of high school, they were like, okay, we got a new coach, and he's obsessed with slappers. Yeah. He's fired now, but at the time he was obsessed with slappers, and he was like, okay, well, I'm switching you to the other side. And I was like, okay. And at tryouts, I tried to slap just to make myself more valuable, I guess. And he just kept me there, and I've been there ever since.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So when I went into college, I was a right-handed hitter, and then they switched me my freshman year of college. So now I guess I was a slapper. So any tips to slappers that just haven't really...
Oh God, I don't know.
I know it's kind of...
I think what I did was try to develop my left-handed swing. So not just working on slapping, but actually working on your swing.
That's a good tip to have. I wish I had that last year. So when you're making YouTube videos, do you ever like want to set out to make other videos besides just softball? Like what type of videos are you gonna make when softball's over? Like what do you want to do?
I've thought about that so much.
Yeah.
So me and my friends actually want to start like a thing and do like kind of vlogs because I feel like we have a funny friend group.
Yeah.
And it'd be funny to watch.
Yeah, the vlog squad.
Yeah, literally like Walmart brand vlog squad.
Yeah.
But I don't know, something like that, or just I want to do when I stop playing. I think it'd be cool like if I was a coach to do like vlogs with my team.
Yeah,
that'd be cute.
That would be cute.
Yeah.
So what's life like after softball's done? Do you want to coach or like what are you going to school for? What do you want to do after it?
I'm sure I will eventually coach, but it's not like my main goal. I want to be a physical therapist.
Okay, so you're going to school for that now. So are you biology or are you like
exercise science?
Exercise science. Okay, that's fun though. That's cool. So do you want to work with people who like are recovering from strokes and like rehabilitating them, or like more with athletes, or?
I definitely want to do more like athletes.
That's
because
cool.
I feel like I'd just be able to relate to them.
Well, wait. I want to touch on the recruiting process just a little bit. The full recruiting thing is going to be on her channel with a lot of information about that. But so your recruiting process, we kind of walked through it, how you ended up at JUCO and then quit and then ended up at Lagrange. So that's just a crazy story. But if you could give one piece of advice to someone who's going through the recruiting process, I know it's a very turbulent time and kind of scary. You know, there's especially when you don't know what you're doing or you don't have certain connections, it can be really scary. So what piece of advice would you give to someone?
Mine would be to keep your options open, because I feel like a lot of people I've talked to have always had their mind like dead set on one school, and honestly most of the time that's just not gonna work out the way you want it to, because you still have to think about academics and like being up to that athletic level of the school, you know what I'm saying? Because mine was always UGA, and it's just like I have to be more realistic. And so just keeping your options open, because I didn't think I was going to go to a JUCO, and I never even heard of the school. Yeah. But I was like, might as well.
So just keeping your options open. And like every single school doesn't have a position open for you. I feel like a lot of times, especially when I would go to camps and stuff, like I would feel shut down because they were like, oh, well, we're not looking for someone in that position, or we already have someone who's around your age who we're bringing in for that position. So it can be really frustrating, but it has to be a good fit for the school and a good fit for you. So that's definitely a big point, that keeping your options open with that and not just shutting down once you get one no. Yeah. And then, so when you decided to quit at the JUCO and after your freshman year, do you think you were experiencing burnout at that point, or do you think it was just too much, or what do you think it was?
I think so. There's just like, there was a point where I was like, I'm kind of losing my passion. Like, I know this sounds so baby and I don't want to be that person, but there's a point where I was like crying at practice and like, not in front of people, I'm not like, but like after, I'd literally just sit in my car and cry, and I was just like, I just don't want to do this anymore. Like, it's not good for me. It's not making me happy. And at the end of the day, like, I don't play to like win conference and do all that, but I play because I love to play.
Yeah, that's a good point. So you kind of just lost that passion for it. I feel like that's a big thing that people experience a lot, is when they're pushed too hard or pushed, you know, just a little too much, or they're doing it too often, it's really easy to get burned out. And so many young kids are getting burned out so earlier and earlier. So how did you like regain that passion and continue at Lagrange?
I don't know. There was just a day where I was thinking about it, and I was like, because I was running away from it for so long. And I was like, I don't even want to think about it. I can't, what's the word? I can't imagine, like, letting go of softball. And so I just started crying, and I was like, I need to do something about it. And I tried to imagine myself without it, and I couldn't. So I was like, that's when I need to do something. Did
you ever experience, like, a really low point of softball, like, with an injury, with just not loving it? I mean, obviously, you talked about not losing that passion, but did you ever experience an injury that just really kind of set you back?
I really don't want to jinx myself, but I haven't been injured.
What? You haven't had a single injury? Please knock on wood. Please knock on wood.
No.
That's crazy. You've been playing for this long and haven't had an injury.
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten into one, like, little collision, but yeah, other than that, no.
That's awesome. Man, you got some
I
good
don't
luck.
know how.
Well, let's keep it that way. I'll knock on
I
wood
know,
too.
I sure hope so.
Wow, that's insane. So, a couple questions just about the college level, and then we'll just kind of wrap it up. So what keeps you going every day at the college level? Is it your teammates? Is it like seeing them around and being like, "What's up? How you doing?" Or like just like the little moments or making the good play? What is it?
That's a good question. I really don't know. Honestly, my parents, because I want to make them proud, and my dad, like, I have this long letter, like 3 pages, that he wrote me my freshman year when I was moving out. He wrote me a letter and, like, put it in one of the boxes. And I found it later and just cried, and I still have it. And so when I get really down, I just read it.
That's
and I'm
good.
like,
Yeah.
gotta do it for dad.
Gotta do it for dad, yeah. So, the day in the life of college softball, what does it look like for you being at, it's a Division III school, right? What does that look like for you? You guys wake up early? No.
We don't do nearly as much at D3 that we did at JUCO, but I think Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we have weights at like 5 in the morning sometimes. And then practice every day, but we have to have 1 day off.
That's how ours is too. Yeah.
And then class. Well, class and then practice. But practices are usually like 2 hours, and they're not anything crazy, just...
Okay, so I want to ask this question on every single one of these interviews. And the question is, what do you play for? Because I feel like so many different people have different things that they play for. Like, I know you said your parents, that's what keeps you going, but is it just because of the sheer love of softball, or what is the reason that you play?
I don't want to sound cheesy, but
sound
like,
as cheesy as you want to.
The main thing would just be, because when I was younger, this was my biggest goal, and I'm looking back on it and I'm like, well, you're doing what you wanted to do your whole life, and there's a lot of people who don't get the opportunity to play, like they get it taken away from them, much like your situation where you got hurt, and I don't ever want to take it for granted, and I want to kind of ride it out as long as I can.
Yeah. So when you're walking around campus and you're headed to practice and it's a really hard day, do you ever think about that? And you're like, I wanted this for so long. I wanted this since I was a little kid.
It's usually after a horrible practice, I have to sit in my car and just, like, put myself in place and be like, it happens, it is what it is. Like, at the end of the day, you have one goal, and that's to be happy and do what you love. So.
And that's softball. I think that's an incredible story that you have, your softball journey. It's crazy that you started when you were 12, and that's kind of like late to the game, as people would say, and you still ended up at a college level. And then going to JUCO and preparing yourself to play Division III softball, and just refining that passion for softball. I think that's really just an incredible story. And then all at the same time doing YouTube, and studying physical therapy. It's freaking awesome, and I applaud you for that. So if you guys want to learn more about the recruiting process and Olivia Lacey's recruiting process and my recruiting process, go check out the video on her channel that we're going to also do together. Thank you so much for watching Baselines, you guys, today. Remember, baselines in softball lead you to your ultimate goal of scoring, and I hope this show can help you guys achieve your ultimate goal of scoring, whether that is getting recruited, preventing burnout, or just falling in love with the sport. Thank you so much for being here, Olivia, and I appreciate you coming into my house and being on Baselines.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. And remember to check out the video with her. Next week, we are going to be having a Division I pitcher who pitches at Samford. And it's going to be an incredible episode. One of my good friends, we've been playing together since we were in 5th grade. So it's going to be a good little episode. We'll see you guys next time on Baselines. Bye!